Hi, welcome to the Art of Yoga Project. My name is Jessica, and today we're going to do a balanced yoga practice that will help give you a little bit of energy and at the same time make you feel calm. So let's start by standing up. And as you stand up, I want you to bring your feet pretty close together and really feel how they can anchor down into the ground like you're a tree growing down into the dirt. You're going to bend your knees and bring your hands on top of your knees and just start to make big circles with your knees, almost like there's pencils coming out of the kneecaps that you can draw circles on the floor with. And you'll go one more time around this way and then switch directions. And as you do this, see if you can start to notice your breath and maybe move with the breath. So inhaling one circle, exhaling another. And then we'll come back to neutral. And we'll bring our hands on our hips, standing up, stepping just apart a little bit with the feet so that we feel really stable. We'll make big circles with the hips if it feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can just kind of move the hips whatever way you want to do to feel into this kind of major joint and place of mobility in the body. And then we're going to come back to standing with the feet a little closer together, maybe not touching. Bringing your left hand on your right shoulder, just so that you can feel the movement. As we inhale, your arm's going to reach up, and as you exhale, it circles back. We'll do that a few more times, moving the arms, feeling the rotation of this other big joint at the shoulder. And then one more time, we're going to switch directions from the bottom. So inhaling up and forward, exhaling back and down. 2 more times, just moving in this direction. If you want, you can do a little heel raise as it moves. And then we're going to just let it kind of flop around, maybe knock into your leg. And taking your right hand to your left shoulder, we'll do the same. Inhaling, reaching the arms up and back all the way around, making big fluid circles and seeing if as best as you can move your body with your breath. And that may mean you have to slow your movement down a little bit. It's okay if you're not going the same pace as I am. It may mean that you have to slow your breath down, switching directions. Feeling the breath and the body moving together. And then releasing and just again letting the arms kind of flop around. Let's go ahead and reach the right arm out in front of you and point all of your fingers down towards the ground. And you can take your left hand and pull the fingers back towards your body so you get a stretch at the top of the wrist. Feel that. Take a nice big breath. Let it all out. And then turn the right palm to face up and use the left hand to stretch the fingers back towards your body again so you get a stretch the base of the palm and the other side of the wrist. Notice if your shoulders are kind of shrugging up towards your ears and see if you can stay really soft in the shoulders. Another breath. And then shaking out the right wrist. We'll do it with the left side. So the left fingertips are going to all point down towards the floor and you're going to use the right hand to stretch out the top of that left wrist. Breathing. Seeing if you can just start to feel the way that the mind and the body and the breath can all come together through these simple movements, and you start to feel like you're a little bit more present and comfortable in your body in this moment, whatever that means to you. Switching to stretch the other side, breathing, and then shaking it all out. I'm going to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and imagine that they weigh 10,000 pounds, and as you exhale, let them drop. Do that 3 more times. Big breath in. Shoulders are so heavy, exhale, let them go. And again, let them drop. 1 more time. Good. And then just everything kind of loosey-goosey, like you're shaking out the stress that you're feeling in your body. We're going to inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, just let the whole body flop forward like a rag doll and hang. I'm going to turn here so that you can see as we shift into different positions. Nodding the head, you're releasing the back of the neck. Maybe doing little no's with the head and yeses to feel those muscles in the neck letting go a little bit more. And then you'll breathe in through your nose and exhale out through your lips, fluttering the lips, releasing tension in the jaw. Again, inhale through the nose, bending your knees as much as you need here, letting go. And one more time. And then carefully bend the knees a lot to climb down onto your hands and your knees into a little tabletop. Starting to feel your knees really supporting your body under your hips, your wrists supporting your arms under your shoulders. We'll move a little bit through the spine here. So as you inhale, drop your belly and lift your gaze. You're arching your back. And as you exhale, you're rounding, pressing the floor away from you, letting your head really hang. We'll do that 3 more times with the breath. Inhale, this is cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. 2 more times. Inhale, just feeling the spine starting to loosen up with the movement. Exhaling, just noticing how it moves in the other direction and the neck can release. 1 more time, your shoulders pull back as your chest opens up. And you're pressing the ground away from you, letting your head be so heavy so the neck lets go. We'll come back to neutral and then just slowly bring your knees a little bit wider, bring your big toes to touch, and drop your hips back to your heels, coming into a child's pose. Now, 2 things you can do here. Your hands can stack and you can rest your head on your hands. Or if it feels comfortable, you can drop your head all the way to the ground. I am going to keep my chin lifted just so you can still hear what I'm saying. But as your head is resting, start to rock your head side to side so that you're getting a little massage to the muscles in your forehead and above your eyebrows. Just like this. And you might start to feel your breath getting a little longer, a little slower. You're going to slowly climb back up onto your hands and your knees. You're going to walk yourself further away. So hands and knees are coming further back so that you can bend your elbows and just really gently drop yourself down onto your belly, coming into a Sphinx pose. So your elbows are stacked under your shoulders. You're able to kind of lift up through your chest and you get a little stretch behind your shoulder blades and your back. And then drop your chin to your chest so the back of your neck gets really long. Exhale. Inhale, lift your chin up, and as you exhale, you're going to look over your right shoulder and pull your left shoulder back, so you get a little stretch in the neck. And then inhale, come back through center. Exhale, drop the chin down to the chest. Inhale, come up. Exhale, look over your left shoulder and pull your right shoulder back just a little bit. And then inhale, come back through center. Drop your chin to your chest as you breathe out. Just hang here for a moment. We're going to once again stack the hands and let the head rest down on the hands. And then bend your knees so that your toes point up towards the ceiling or the sky. And just let your shins, your feet kind of flop back and forth like windshield wipers in the car when it's raining. The legs go back and forth and it's releasing the lower back. And then finally you're going to let that movement just kind of drop down so that the legs are once again heavy. You're resting your head on your hands. And once again, I'll just keep myself propped up so that you can hear me. But you keep your head resting down so that you feel really heavy. The eyes can close if it feels comfortable. And I want you to notice the connection between your stomach and the ground. So your belly on the floor. And see if you can feel how your belly kind of presses into the floor when you breathe. And then we'll do a few rounds of what we call belly breathing, which is really calming to our nervous system, specifically our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of us that helps us feel calm. So inhale, imagine your belly filling up like a balloon, and then continuing to fill all the way up into the chest. And as you exhale, you're emptying the chest, emptying the belly. And you can feel this into the floor, the belly pressing in. Inhale, filling the belly and the chest. Exhale, emptying the chest and the belly. One more time, just like that. Big breath, filling up belly and chest. And breathing out, emptying chest and belly. And then from this more relaxed position, just lying on the floor, you're going to slowly start to walk your hands back so that you can press yourself up. And you can choose to maybe sit in this pose on your knees, which is called Hero's Pose or Virasana, if it's comfortable for you. Or you can sit cross-legged if that feels more comfortable for you. And here I just want to offer a quote from someone named Alex L. So they said, "I'm thankful for my struggles because that is how I've come to know my strengths." So I want you to just think about that again. I'll read it one more time. "I'm thankful for my struggles because without them, I wouldn't know my strengths." Where you are, I want you to just look around you in the room and notice something that is true. Could be something very simple like the floor is brown or the sky outside the window is blue. Just notice something simple that is true and tell yourself that. And then I want you to feel where your body connects to the ground, whether it's your shins, your knees, your bottom, your hips. Feel your connection with the earth, with the floor beneath you, and maybe feel yourself kind of sinking down a little bit more. And then take a nice deep breath. If it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. Maybe put your hand on your belly and breathe down deep into your belly again, if you can, to just feel yourself dropping into the part of you that is calm and focused. You're connecting here with your best self. And it's from that place in yourself, from your best self, that we'll keep moving through a little bit more of this practice. And I want you to think about something that is hard for you right now. What in your life is feeling hard or difficult? Or maybe something in your body that's feeling tense or you're having a hard time accepting about yourself. And consider how maybe you could be grateful for that thing, for the opportunity you might have to learn from that struggle, and how it actually could be a place for you to grow into your strength. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. And we're just going to move a little bit right here. Feeling again your hips on the ground. You're going to inhale and reach your arms up. And as you exhale, do a little twist to your left. So your right hand's going to come on your left knee and you're going to press the floor away from you with your left hand behind you, lifting up tall. Keeping your right hip grounded, reach your left arm up to the sky, keeping your left hip really heavy. Just take a big lean over to feel this side of the body releasing, and then dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder to feel the neck releasing. Slowly turn so that your left hand grabs your right knee and your elbows are crossed, and you can kind of sway your body back and forth to feel that release right underneath your shoulder blades in the middle of your back. And then drop your chin to your chest and press your knees into your hands and pull on your knees to maybe stretch that a little bit more. Now everything stays the same except for you're gonna lift your hands and lift your fingertips so that you're crossing at your elbows and pressing them into each other. Some of you will be able to connect your hands, but that doesn't matter if you do or not. And you'll feel as you do that, you'll get more of a stretch underneath your shoulder blades. Take your elbows a little bit to the right and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder to release the side of the neck. And then as you exhale, unravel everything. Just let your arms dangle by your sides, and we'll do it all again on the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, you're twisting to the right. So your left hand grabs your right knee, your right fingertips push the floor away from you to help you really lift out of your lower back. And maybe you turn a little bit more as you exhale. And you're gonna keep both of your hips heavy. You're gonna keep your left hand on your knees. You reach your right arm up and over to the left. Dropping the head heavy, feeling the side body open up. And then keep going, swimming the right hand on top of the left knee, moving the torso, the upper body around a little bit so you can feel into that stretch in the mid-back, dropping your chin to your chest. Press your knees and your hands into each other. And then keeping the elbows crossed, sit up tall and reach the fingertips towards the ceiling. And again, maybe this is as far as you go to feel that stretch under your shoulder blades. And if even this feels too much, you can just give yourself a little hug. And if it feels like you've got a little more room, maybe you're gonna connect the hands. Take the elbows slightly to the left and drop the left ear towards the left shoulder to release the side of the neck. Relax your jaw. Maybe that means moving your jaw around a little bit and coming back to notice if you're breathing. And then exhale, everything unravels. The arms just kind of dangle back to the sides. And notice how you feel. Maybe a little more loose in the upper body, shoulders, neck, and chest. We're gonna climb back onto our hands and knees, coming to our tabletop. And from here, we're gonna feel maybe a little bit of strength in our center, in that part of us that helps us move through our struggles. So as you inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. Get the right leg level with your hips. And it's okay if you decide you want to keep your toes on the ground, or you can keep your leg lifted. Two options. Then your opposite hand, your left hand, is going to reach forward. And if that feels like too much, if you feel like you start to wobble, just keep your fingers and toes on the ground. Otherwise, take a couple of breaths here and see if you can find this balance and this strength. And then exhale to release and switch sides. We'll take the left leg back. And again, maybe your toes stay on the ground, or maybe they're lifted level with the hip. And then try right fingertips forward. Couple of breaths. It's not easy, but you breathe into your belly again and see if you can find your center, find your strength to be more steady. This is where a struggle helps us find our strength. Releasing the right hand and the left knee. You can just kind of move your legs side to side, your hips side to side to rock that out. And then we'll try it a little differently now. So reach your right leg back, and this time actually put your toes on the ground. Turn your right heel down so your whole right foot is pressing into your yoga mat. And then you can turn your left toes off a little bit so it helps to stabilize your body and make you feel steady. And then try reaching your right arm up. Feeling that strength here, balancing on one side of your body, maybe reaching your right arm over past your ear. Releasing it back down, we'll try the other side. So left toes reach back and press into the mat. Your left heel turns down. Your right toes can come off your mat, and then you're gonna open it up. Breathe here, and then stretch it out, pressing the foot down to reach the fingers further. And then everything comes back to center. One more time, we're gonna take your knees a little wider, your big toes to touch, resting your hips back into your heels to child's pose. Dropping your elbows to the ground, dropping your forehead to the ground. For just a moment, everything can get a break. Everything rests. And you can come back to your breath. And just feel your breath right here, right now. Again, connecting you to that strong, clear, centered part of yourself. From here, we're going to rise up onto the hands and the knees. Walk the hands forward a little bit. Walk the knees back a little bit. Tuck the toes under. And play with lifting the knees all the way up, lifting the hips all the way up. This is downward facing dog. And if it feels like too much, keep your knees on the ground but reach your hips back for downward facing puppy. Otherwise, from your downward facing dog, stretch, press down into the hands, reach up through the hips. Feel your shoulders strong and your neck soft. And then walk your feet slowly forward. So you're coming to that standing forward fold where we kind of ragdolled before. And again, you can have as much bend in your knees as you need to. And your hands can even be on your shins here if they don't feel comfortable on the ground. You can also put them up on a block or a book or something. Let your head hang. And then thinking about kind of ragdolling in the other direction, you're going to roll your body up to standing. Nice and slow. And reach the arms all the way up as you breathe in. And exhale, bring your hands right down to the center of your heart. Pausing here. We're going to move a little bit through what's called a sun salutation. With a little variation, pausing in a lunge. So just follow my breath, follow my movements, follow along with me. Inhale, reach the arms up. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to as you exhale and dive forward. Uttanasana, or standing forward fold. Inhale, come to a long flat back. Maybe your hands come to your shins. Exhale, fold again. As you inhale, take a big step back with your left foot, and it's okay if it takes 4 or 5 steps to get there, more than one. Lower your left knee down to the ground. And this might be plenty. You just kind of play with what it feels like to stretch the hips here. Or if you're ready, bring the hands up to the front knee. Play with what it feels like to go a little deeper. If you're feeling strong, reach your arms up. And reach even more through the chest, through the top of the head. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor. Step your right knee back by your left. Tuck your toes, lift into your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank pose. So it's like a top of a push-up. And feel your strength here. And if you need to, you just have your knees on the ground. And wherever you are coming from, whether it's plank or knees on the ground, you're going to bend your elbows nice and slowly and lower down onto your belly. From here, keep your hands planted under your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, come back to your child's pose. Hips go all the way to the heels and breathe out here. And then rising back up to your downward dog, hips to the sky. Take a full breath and let it all out. And then here's where you have some choices. You could just walk your feet back up to your hands, or you could bend your knees and you can play with a little hop. Floating the feet up. Inhale to that long flat back, and exhale, fold again. Press down into the floor to rise up strong and tall, and exhale your hands to your heart. We'll go through the whole thing on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, dive forward. Inhale, long flat back. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, take a big step back with your right foot. And again, maybe it takes a few steps to get there. You're wanting your front knee to be over your front ankle. Lower your back knee down. And maybe this is plenty. You're just going to feel the stretch right here. If you want to keep going, bring your hands up to your left knee. Feel the stretch here. Or maybe reach your arms up and stretch up. Are you breathing? Are you tensing in your jaw? Can you relax your face? Can you feel where something that is challenging can actually help you to find how strong you are? Exhale, take your hands back to the floor. Step your left knee by your right. Move around a little bit. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Inhale, it's almost like you're gliding forward, bringing your shoulders over your wrists, finding that strength of your center. And again, you can drop your knees on the way, and we're gonna lower down nice and slow with control. Shoulders on the back. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down, and lift up through your heart. Relax your neck, maybe smile. Exhale, release. Inhale, shift your hips all the way back to your heels, and just pause here for a couple of breaths. And maybe your breath goes back down into your belly to help you feel calm, to help you pause. And as you're ready, you're going to climb one last time into that downward facing dog, or we call it teepee pose sometimes. Hips to the sky. Some of you will feel like your heels are almost touching the ground, but know that that's not the goal. You're just wanting to find the stretch in the backs of the legs. For some of us, it'll be lots of years before the heels touch the ground. And then again, you can walk your feet forward. If you want to try that hop, try the hop. Floating forward and folding down. Press down to stretch fully all the way up. And exhale, take your hands back together at your heart. Release your arms by your sides. And then you can just pause for a moment and notice how you're feeling here. We're going to start with a little balancing by putting all of the weight onto the right foot. And it may be that you just take your left heel up onto your right foot. And that might be plenty. Hands to your heart or hands to your hips. If you want to try with a little bit more challenge in the balance, you can bring your foot to the inside of the calf below the knee, or you can put the foot above the knee to the inside of the thigh. You just want to not put it directly on the knee. And then bring your hands to your heart, or again to your hips. If you're feeling strong, you can reach the arms up. It's normal to move around a little bit. And instead of fighting against that kind of wobbling, see if you can just help find your center. Breathe through it. Release your arms. Release your leg. Bend your knees a little bit. And then try the other side. So you're balancing strong on your left leg. This is tree pose or Vrikshasana. So feeling like you are as strong as a tree. Maybe bringing that right foot up to a different place. And all of the places are enough. Just find where you can feel steady in yourself. Hands might come to the heart, or they might reach up. Release your arms, release your leg, give it a little shake. And then let's have the feet about hip distance. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit down like you're sitting in an imaginary chair and just feel your strength. And then maybe keep going. Maybe that's enough for you, and you want to just find your way to your seat. Or maybe you're wanting to kind of find this very slow, controlled release into a little squat. Release your bottom to the ground, and bring the soles of your feet together, letting your knees fall apart. This is Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. Just a nice stretch for the hips, and here we can massage the bottoms of the feet a little bit. Come back to our breath. Breathing in through the nose, maybe letting it out through the mouth. And we can maybe walk fingertips behind us to really lift up tall and get a long spine rising out of the hips. Or if you want, you can play with folding forward. But don't push your body. Be in a place where you can stay with your hips on the ground. You can keep that connection. Maybe you're going to drop down a little more. Head might hang. Breathe here. And then slowly coming back up. We're going to unravel the legs, and we're going to come to lie down on our backs. We're just going to do a couple small movements on the back, hugging your right knee into your chest first, and then placing your right ankle on your left thigh. You can draw your left knee into your chest to get a little more stretch in your hip, but if that feels like too much, you'll keep the left foot on the ground. We'll take a couple of breaths right here. See if you can relax the back of the neck. Imagine the back of your tongue is really heavy, so your jaw relaxes. And then you'll go ahead and release that. Hug your right knee back into your chest, and this time make your left leg super long, and just use your left arm, your left hand to take your right leg across into a little bit of a twist. And you can reach your right arm the other way. It's a nice gentle twist. Twists can both be calming and at the same time give us energy. Think about what you need and invite it in. And we'll come back to center. We'll hug both knees into the chest for a moment, maybe rocking a little bit side to side. And then keep the left knee hugging in, place the right foot on the floor, and place the left ankle on the right thigh. It's kind of like you're making a little figure four triangle between your legs. Maybe this is plenty of a stretch, or maybe you're going to draw your right leg in. And breathe here, noticing where you feel the stretch, seeing if you can maybe imagine the breath going to that place to help it soften or let go a little. And then releasing your right foot back to the floor if you've lifted it up. Hug your left knee back in. Stretch your right leg really long. And then use your right hand to just take your leg across into a gentle twist. Maybe dropping your left shoulder and looking towards your left fingertips. Breathing here. So in the last twist, you thought about what you wanted to invite in. Maybe in this twist, you think about what you want to release or what you want to let go of. I feel like this twist is just helping to move it out. Inhale, come back through center. One more time, you're gonna hug both knees in. And maybe just rock a little bit side to side to feel the lower back release on the ground. And then slowly stretch the legs. Stretch the arms, let your arms just rest down by your sides. Everything kind of melting into the ground. You can imagine your bones here getting really heavy. You can imagine all of the muscles letting go of all of their effort. So there's no more work to be done. And you're able to just completely relax. Feeling each part of the body kind of melting down into the ground, the backs of your heels, the backs of your legs, your hips, your shoulder blades, the back of your head, everything melting down into the ground, backs of the arms, the backs of the hands. You're feeling your jaw releasing towards the back of your skull, and the eyes getting a little softer in their sockets. All of the muscles of the face relaxing. And maybe for a moment you bring your awareness back to your breath. And you can visualize your breath moving like waves. So as you breathe in, the breath moves from the tips of your toes all the way up your body to the top of your head, like a fresh wave of energy. And as you breathe out, the breath flows like a wave downward from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and it's carrying away any of your tensions. Breathing in that fresh wave of positive, peaceful energy, moving from toes to the top of your head. And breathing out from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, that long wave just carrying away the negative. So you're breathing in what you need and breathing out what you don't. And just allow yourself to rest here for a few more moments, visualizing the breath washing over you like waves, continuing to help bring you back to that clear, strong, calm center. And you're remembering that that part of you is always there, even when you don't feel at all connected to it. And maybe it's this yoga practice, or maybe it's something else that you can find that really helps you to connect to that calm, strong, clear part of yourself, to connect to your center, to connect to your very best self. Start to breathe in a little more deeply and start to wiggle your toes and start to wiggle your fingers and start to rock your head side to side. So that really strong part of you in your center is actually starting to reach out to every part of you. And then take a long stretch, reaching arms overhead. And as you're feeling ready, you're going to slowly hug your knees back into your chest and roll over onto your right side. And just pause here for a moment, feeling totally supported by the ground. And you can then ease yourself back up to your seat. So you want to use as little effort as possible to come back up there. And again, sit in a way that feels comfortable for you. And I'm going to leave you today with one more little quote to inspire you. And this is from someone named Holly Holden. Today I asked my body what she needed, which is a big deal considering my journey of not really asking that much. I thought she might need more water or protein or greens or yoga or movement. But as I stood in the shower, reflecting on her stretch marks, her roundness where I would like flatness, her softness where I would like firmness, all those conditioned wishes that form a bundle of never quite rightness, she whispered very gently, "Could you love me just like this? Could you love me just like this?" So as you step out of this practice and into the rest of your day, maybe think about the ways that you can accept yourself, your body, your life, exactly as it is, and how you can actually start to turn your struggles into your strengths and feel yourself living from that best self that you connected through this practice to more and more of the time. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Thank you for showing up. The light in me honors the light within you. Namaste.